going to mix up our blood. There are literally thousands of products out there to help you with muscular pain and cramps. Over-the-counter supplements, to massage tools, to vibrators, to heat packs, to topical analgesics. If we understand how a muscle gets tight and cramps in the first place, it can help us treat it more effectively. Think of this household sponge as a healthy, relaxed muscle. When we get that muscle to be fully circulated with the blood that passes through, it should be able to absorb all of the blood rich with oxygen and nutrients that passes through it every second. Now take a muscle that's tight from being in a shortened position, from sitting too much, or just general bad posture. Potentially it's short from increased nerve activity, usually due to weakness. And if we apply that into the bloody mix here and bring it out, we will see little to no oxygen-rich blood able to penetrate that muscle. Our body's great at adapting, but when you have that significant of a reduction in blood getting to the muscle where it is needed most, you're undoubtedly going to be dealing with tremendous pain or cramps. What can we do to improve your body's ability to loosen and get the blood into the tissue? Well, if we look at the sponge, we basically want to increase the cross section. So how much we're able to lengthen that muscle. So at rest, we want this to be longer, not short and squeezed up. That's where your classic stretching will come into play. But we also want to improve that width of the muscle. When a muscle contracts, it needs to get bigger. So if your muscle is not able to stretch in the width direction and only in the length direction, that's going to result in problems and an inability for the blood to get through and penetrate all the muscle. That's where things like muscle rollers come into play, whether it's the manual massage stick or this T-pin muscle roller. And these devices are essentially trying to smash your muscle like a pancake to force it to stretch out, because when you squeeze that, it will bulge and get a little bit longer in the cross direction. When you talk about massage guns like Hypervolt, they can produce some deformation of the muscle also, but they're also stimulating a lot of the nerves to cause massive relaxation of the muscle so that nerve-related tightness can calm down. But ultimately, unless you get stronger, you're going to continue to have a fired up nervous system sending signals for that muscle to remain short and tight as a protective mechanism. So it's simple to see if this is squeezed and shortened, there's not going to be near the capacity for that muscle to fill up and get the needed blood. Now throw on top of this aging, which will generally make your tissues more stiff because you lose elasticity as you age. Now you have a sponge that doesn't quite have the mobility that it once had. You can improve the hydration and the mobility of the muscle by doing regular things like rolling and making sure your diet's adequate. Even if we were to just do a partial squeeze of the sponge, there's still a pretty considerable drop off in the amount of blood that can get through that muscle tissue. Now, most of the time when you wake up in the middle of the night with a cramp, that's because your body is calling out for oxygen and it wants you to move so that that muscle can relax and get more blood flow into it. If you found this explanation helpful, go ahead and give that like button a tap. If you want your muscles to stay saturated with oxygen-rich blood to help you keep improving, you gotta keep it moving.